Hello students, I am back with the second part of the physical features of India. In the previous PowerPoint presentation, we have done the two physical features, the Indo-Gangetic Plain and the Himalayas. Now we will do the rest of the physical features. The third physical feature, the Indian desert. The brown colored part which you can see on the screen, children, is a desert region. The desert region falls to the northwest of the Indo-Gangetic Plain. It extends in the states of Rajasthan and Gujarat. The Indian desert is also known as the Great Indian Desert or Thar Desert. Thar Desert is the world's seventh largest desert. Being a desert, the land is very dry, barren and sandy. The climate of the desert is very hot and dry. Days record a very high temperature and nights become extremely cold. This is because sand absorbs and loses heat quickly. This is the reason, children, very few people live in this region of India. A desert is covered with a thick sheet of loose sand. Strong winds called sandstorms or dust storms are common in the desert. The sandstorms or the dust storms sometimes blow over the vast stretch of sand and shift it from one place to another, forming small sand hills called sand dunes. Yes, children, you can see on the screen the hills which are formed. They are called sand dunes. They are not permanent. The camel which you can see are the most important means of transportation in the desert. They have padded feet and can live for a long periods without food or water. This helps them to survive in the difficult conditions of the desert. Therefore, they are called the sheep of the desert. The moving of the camels across the desert in a groups is called caravan. The picture which you can see, children, now is a picture of oasis. Oasis, a small pool of water found in the desert. These are the areas where water is found and agriculture is carried out. The people settled around it as they can get water easily and can do farming. The life in the desert region is very harsh because of adverse climate with extreme temperature, scanty rainfall and scarcity of water. Some people lead a nomadic life, traveling from one place to another, looking for food for their cattle and to sell their handicrafts. They do not have permanent house and they are called banjaras. The vegetation in desert is very rare. Only few plants grows there. First, the picture which you can see, it is of date palm. Next, there are some white flowers also grows there. Then the cactus, babool, kikar, all these plants, they grow in the desert area. Agriculture has developed recently due to the construction of Indira Gandhi Canal, also called the Rajasthan Canal. It brings water of river Satluj and Ravi from Bhakra Nangal Dam and Pong Dam to the desert. The Indira Gandhi Canal in Rajasthan is the longest canal of India. The fourth physical feature, the peninsular plateau. A plateau is a raised, rocky and uneven land surface, also called tableland. The Indian peninsular plateau covers most of the lower half of the country, lies in the south of the Indo-Gangetic plains. The part of that lies in the northern side is called the Central Plateau, and to the south it is Deccan Plateau. The plateau is triangular in shape, sloping down from the west to the east. The Central Highlands or the Central Plateau consists of Malwa Plateau, the Chota Nagpur Plateau and the Deccan Plateau of the south. These plateaus are made up of hard volcanic rocks. The Malwa Plateau spreads across Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat states. The Chota Nagpur Plateau covers the states like Jharkhand, Odisha, Bihar and Chhattisgarh. It is rich in minerals and has some of the world's largest deposits of coal, iron ore, copper, bauxite and limestone. Most of the Deccan Plateau is used for farming. In this slide, children, in the first map, we can see the hills of the plateau region. The Aravalis, the Vindhyas, the Satpuras are the important mountain ranges in the northern part of the peninsular plateau. In the southernmost part of the Deccan Plateau is the Nilgiri Hills. Now in the next map, the rivers of the plateau regions are shown. The Narmada, Tapi, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. In that, the Narmada and Tapi are the rivers which flow westwards. These two rivers drained in the Arabian Sea, whereas the Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri, they drained in Bay of Bengal. They all are rain-fed rivers. The fifth physical feature, the coastal plains or the sandy shore sides. A coast is a vast stretch of land along the sea. As you can see on the screen, children, the three main water bodies, Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, and the blue part which is colored is the coastal plains. India has a widespread coastline of about 7,000 km. It stretches from Gujarat in the west up to West Bengal in the east. The coastal plains of our country is divided into two parts. The western coastal plain towards the west direction and the eastern coastal plain towards the east direction. The coastal plains of peninsular India have a tropical humid climate. They are influenced by the seas and experience a moderate climate, which means neither very hot nor very cold. The seasonal winds also affects the climate of the plains. The southwest monsoons bring heavy rainfall to the western plain from July to September. The eastern coastal plain gets rainfall during October and November. The eastern coastal plain in the east direction lies between the Bay of Bengal and the Eastern Ghats. It stretches from the delta of the Ganga in the north to Kanyakumari in the south. It is divided into two, the northern Sirkars in the north and the Coromandel coast in the south. The western coastal plain lies between the Arabian Sea and the Western Ghats. They are not as broad as eastern coastal plain, and they are divided into three parts: the Gujarat coast, the Konkan coast and the Malabar coast in the south. In this slide, children, we will do some major ports of the western and eastern coastal plain. Ports are the cities with harbors where the ships are anchored. That means from where the ship moves and stops. On the western coastal plain, we will see some of the major ports. From the lower side, we will start Kochi, which is shown as Cochin here on the map. Kochi is the new name of Cochin. Mangalore, Kozhikode, which is shown here as Calicut. Kozhikode is the new name. Marmagao, Mumbai and Kandla. In this, Mumbai is the biggest port in India. Now we will come to the eastern side. Haldia, Paradeep, Vishakhapatnam, Ennore, Chennai and Tuticorin are the major ports on the eastern coast. Vishakhapatnam and Kochi have shipbuilding yards. So children, these are some of the major ports of the coastal plains. The sixth physical feature, the Indian islands. India has many islands, but we will do the two important islands. The largest island, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which is in Bay of Bengal. It is also known as Emerald Islands. Andaman and Nicobar Islands comprises about 300 islands, but only 37 are inhabited. That means in 37 islands only the people they survive. The capital of Andaman and Nicobar Island is Port Blair. The Indira Point is on the southernmost tip of the island, that is Andaman and Nicobar Island. Its latitude is 6 degree 45 minutes north. The next, the smallest island is Lakshadweep Islands. It is in Arabian Sea and also known as Coral Islands. There are about 36 islands in Lakshadweep, but in only 10 the people they survive. That means only 10 are inhabited. The capital of Lakshadweep Island is Kavaratti. The perennial rivers, the lifeline of our country. India is called the land of rivers. Rivers makes the land fertile and ideal for agriculture. Most rivers of India rise in the mountains, flows through the plains and meet finally into the oceans. Some of the snow-fed rivers are Ganga, Indus and Brahmaputra. Let's talk about Ganga first. The Ganges are the longest river in the India. It rises from the Gangotri glacier and flows through the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Bengal. And finally it falls in Bay of Bengal. Some of the major cities which lies in the bank of this river are Allahabad, Varanasi, Allahabad, now known as Prayagraj. Some of the tributaries of Ganga are Yamuna, Gomti, Ghagra, Gandak, Chambal, Kosi, Son, Damodar, etc. The Indus River. The Indus River rises from Mount Kailash in Tibet and falls into the Arabian Sea. It has 5 major tributaries: Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. The Brahmaputra River. It rises in the western Tibet and falls in the Bay of Bengal. The river there known as, in Tibet it known as Sangpo, and in Bangladesh it known as Jamuna. There are some more important rivers which flows through the Deccan Plateau, Deccan Peninsula, are Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna, Kaveri, Damodar, Tapi, Narmada, Periyar, Pamba, Sharavati. This is the end of the chapter. Thank you, children.